As the world has continued to see the shutdown amid the ongoing pandemic, China, which saw the first cases of the pandemic in the city of Wuhan, has been working to gradually bring life back to normal, including the economy and the aviation industry. As Chinese airlines are working to re-establish key domestic air links, the Chinese government is imposing restrictions on both foreign and domestic airlines operating international routes to and from China to reduce the number of imported cases of the pandemic. In accordance to guidelines set forth by the Civil Aviation Administration of China in late March, both state and privately owned China-based carriers will be able to operate one route to each country they serve, limiting the frequency of these flights to once per week. These rules will also be applied to foreign airlines, which have been restricted to one flight to the country once per week. Also, all flights operating to and from China will be restricted to having a maximum load factor of 75%. And flights arriving at Beijing will have to make a required stop at one of 12 designated airports for quarantine and inspection checks. However, there are exceptions, such as in the case of airlines operating cargo flights to and from the country, provided no paying customers are on board those flights. Because of the nature of the pandemic and things could change rapidly, the CAAC stated, quote, CAAC may issue a policy to further reduce the total number of international passenger flights. Airlines, therefore, are required to closely follow information released, analyze the situation, and make contingency plans in advance, and handle in a proper way the issues of such as extension and refund of sold air tickets, etc. Along with these flight restrictions, the Chinese government has imposed the restrictions banning the entry of foreign nationals, including those with work visas and resident permits. So how are the airlines handling this situation, and how have they modified their schedules? Recently, the Chinese Big Three carriers Air China, China Southern, and China Eastern have released tentative schedules for the summer season set to begin in May, covering key routes from Chinese major cities to destinations in Europe, Asia, North America, and Australia. Featured destinations include the cities of Los Angeles, London, New York, Tokyo, Seoul, Frankfurt, and Sydney. Beijing-based carrier Air China will be operating a majority of its routes to and from the Beijing Capital Airport, along with a few from Shanghai Pudong and Chengdu. With its main hub at Beijing, the flights returning to Beijing will be required to make the intermediate quarantine and inspection checks before the onward trip to Beijing. Guangzhou-based China Southern will have a majority of its flights departing from Guangzhou, along with some services from Urumqi and Shenyang. And China Eastern will operate a majority of its flights from its Shanghai Pudong base, along with departures from Kunming and Nanjing. If you want to see the full list of the international flights that the Chinese-based carriers are planning to operate for the summer, there will be some links in the description below for you to take a look at. Though beyond this recording that the situation may change, and so could these flight plans as well. With the travel restrictions, it seems like these flights are catered more for Chinese citizens looking to return home. And while recovering, China still considers itself a closed country amid this pandemic. This is also likely a low-risk move for the Chinese-based carriers, which the CAAC has estimated to have lost nearly 40 billion renminbi during the first quarter of 2020. The Chinese aviation industry has been seen as one of the biggest growth markets for the Asia-Pacific and the world. And in recent years, there have been a growth of international flights departing from secondary cities beyond the major cities of Beijing and Shanghai, along with growing competition amongst some of the Chinese carriers on key routes to other parts of the world. The recovery to get back to those levels could take months or years. Thank you for watching this video. This has been another edition of Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the Asia Pacific. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.